Over my darkest night of the soul, I realized how little I actually loved myself. Yes, it was depressing. Yes, it was a very hard pill to swallow. And yes, it did lead me to spiraling on Reddit forums for the next 5 hours, looking for people who had a similar experience, who were able to help themselves out of that kind of situation. At the time, I felt hopelessly overwhelmed by my lack of love for myself. It felt like one of the most shameful secrets. Like, you're an adult and you don't even love yourself? A lack of self-love is such a weird thing to wake up to after you've been alive and functioning for over 2 decades. So weird that I almost dissociated myself from this realization for a while. But I knew I had to fix my problem of self-love. Otherwise, it would create problems for me in every aspect of my life. I wouldn't be able to build anything in a real and sustainable way in any category of my life, from career to relationships to fulfillment, if I didn't have strong and healthy self-love. Years later, I'm making a video like this one today because I understand all of it so much more now. And also, I realized something really weird. From the day that I really became aware that I didn't love myself and barely had any self-esteem left anymore, my life actually changed overnight. I'm not going to go into personal life details, but yes, things in my environment actually shifted overnight. It's not like I woke up the next morning in a different body in a stranger's house like Kimi no Na or something. What I mean is, when I look back on my life now, I can clearly see there are 2 distinct chapters. Almost like a prequel and the real story. 2 chapters, one where I didn't really love myself in a foundational way, and then one chapter where I started to and now do. The prequel ended when I actually woke up to the fact that I didn't love myself, and from that moment on, the real story of my life began. And yes, changes are gradual, healing is not linear, and some things took time, but the underlying way that I started to radically accept myself, wherever I was at that point in my life, even if it was so shitty and I was like, dear God, like, why am I in this situation? Please help me get out. The underlying way that I started to actually accept myself and love myself from that point on, it was like overnight I had awoken to the wisdom in myself that knew how to prioritize myself and be there for myself. And all I needed to do was have that wisdom be stronger than the external forces pushing against me and putting me back into entropy. It essentially flipped a switch in my brain overnight. So I dare you to try this. The next part of this video is about to really go into it. So click off now if you're already feeling like, whoa, this video is really intense, or if you're like, I don't really have any fundamental issues with my self-love. Which, by the way, that's great. So if you're still around, you're locked in, you're committed. So now I need you to say this with me. I love myself today and forever. I love myself starting today until the end of time. I love myself today and forever. That's all. I have a lot more topics on self-love, self-esteem, and the works on the rest of my channel. For example, you might be specifically interested in this video about building more self-esteem and self-confidence. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you most importantly for committing to loving yourself. It gets to be that easy. Subscribe if you like this content, and I'll see you next time on my channel.